So I recorded the whole thing and then I didn't plug my mic in. Wow. So we're gonna do this over again. What's up, YouTube? Welcome to Net Positive. In today's video, we're gonna be discussing 3 questions. 1, what if Apple put its cash reserves in Bitcoin? 2, what would that do to the price of Bitcoin? And number 3, why in the world would any company wanna put their cash reserves in Bitcoin? If you'd like to find out, stick around. Now, before we get started, I just want to say, Apple to date, as far as I know, has never made any claims that they were going to be putting any of their cash reserves into Bitcoin or into any other cryptocurrency for that matter. This video is a hypothetical. What would happen? What would that do to the price of Bitcoin? And what would that do for Apple? Now, another thing you got to understand is Apple's sitting on a lot of cash. According to CNBC, in the third quarter of 2020, Apple had about $193.86 billion in cash in a bank account. That's a lot of money. Okay, so let's say you're Apple. You're sitting on 200 billion cash. This is in an account that makes interest. If you're lucky, maybe 0.5% interest annually. But let's also take into consideration the inflation rate. Now, recently, Jerome Powell, the head of the Fed, stated that the Fed's going to be increasing their inflation target from 2% annually all the way up to 4% annually. So if we do the math, if you've got $200 billion sitting in an account and you're losing 4% of that annually to inflation, that means that you're losing $8 billion annually in inflation alone. So your 0.5% interest is really not doing anything for you. So what are we gonna do? Well, this is the same question that a lot of companies have been asking themselves in 2020. For example, software company MicroStrategy recently put $425 million of their cash reserves into Bitcoin for this reason. Now, I'm not going to explain why they did it. I'm going to go ahead and allow the CEO, Michael Saylor, explain this himself. This is an interview from the Anthony Pompliano podcast just a couple of days ago. Take a listen.
You're sitting there, you're in a very unique situation because you have so much cash on the company's balance sheet. How do you get to crypto? Talk through that process of like how you actually arrive at, okay, crypto is a potential solution.
You know, when times are good, everybody's busy. You know, if you're in love with the iPhone, then the answer to everything is iPhone. If you're in love with your Apple Watch, when you're in love with Twitter, the answer is, so when times are good, everybody focuses on that and there's only limited time. So when the COVID crisis hit, everybody got sent home and we all had to contemplate ideas that we had previously rejected. And we had to embrace ideas that just were very foreign to us. Well, first I have a mega problem. And the mega problem is I have a lot of cash and I'm watching it melt away. I'm helped to realize I have a mega problem by this insane V recovery in the bond market and the equity market. And then I've got one more problem, which is the investors, the outside investment community. If you go to them and say, hey, we're a great enterprise software company and we've got all this cash, their answer is, we don't really value the cash. Because they're smarter than I am, right? I'm not joking, I'm being serious. They are smarter than I am. They knew before I knew that cash is trash and you're a fool to sit on the cash.
So why Bitcoin? Well, it probably has something to do with Bitcoin's programmably scarce cap of 21 million, which means there will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin ever made. This also means it can't be inflated. But I digress. Let's go back to our original question. What if Apple put its cash reserves in Bitcoin? What would that do for the price of Bitcoin? I've got my phone right here. We're gonna figure this out. Now, keep in mind, this is just a rough estimate, okay? This isn't going to be perfect. This is just a hypothetical question. Okay, so Apple has $193 billion in cash. We're going to add that to the current market cap of Bitcoin, which is 202 billion. So that gives us a total market cap of $395 billion. You can check my math if you would like. Now, we're going to take $395 billion and we're going to divide this by the total current circulating supply of Bitcoin, which right now is about 18.5 billion. All right, so we've got our total, and that total is, if we can get this to focus, $21,351 if Apple, in our hypothetical situation, put their cash reserves into Bitcoin. Now, for comparison, today, the total cost of Bitcoin is $10,894. So basically, we've doubled the cost of Bitcoin just by this one company, Apple, hypothetically, putting all of their cash reserves into Bitcoin. That's something to think about. If you like this video and you appreciate content like this and you want to see more of it, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Also, don't forget to hit the like button to help out the YouTube algorithms. Also, let me know what you guys think. Do you think Apple will ever put its reserves in Bitcoin? Do you think they should? Do you think Bitcoin's a huge scam? Let me know down in the comments. Now, if you'd like more information about Bitcoin or inflation, or you'd like to go listen to the full Anthony Pompliano and Michael Saylor podcast, I'll go ahead and leave some links in the description below. Thank you guys very much for tuning in. As always, stay safe. Love ya. We'll see you next time. Have a good one. Peace.